Hey everyone, it's Chrissy here from the Creative Eclectic. Happy Tuesday night. Hope everyone is having a fabulous Tuesday or Monday if you're still in the US. I have got some cool things to show you tonight, and tonight is all about techniques. So, let me just check that, oops, I'm all caught up. The microphone's caught up. Oh dear. Oh dear me. So what's everyone been up to today? I hope you've had a great day. I've had an extremely productive day. We've got 99.9% of our retreat prep finished for Saturday. That's like almost unheard of to have it done so early. And let's just make sure. Hi Glenda, thanks for watching. Hope you're having a good night. Just see. Hoping you can't see my legs and everything. Well, you can. I'll just angle it that way a little bit. Move that up a bit. Zoom in a teeny bit more. No, I'm sure it's going to let me zoom in. No, it's not. Oh well. Just try and straighten that and see how we go. It's very, very crooked. So far, so good. Well, that's good, isn't it? Yeah, we can only hope that it's all going to be a great week. I've got my microphone cord is doing really weird things. Somehow it's wrapped around my stand like 50 times. I just plugged it in not thinking that it might have moved or something. I need to check this stuff out. And I had a great day today, got lots of things done. And hey Megan, thanks for watching. Don't know why my phone's all crooked. Does that look better? Is it a bit straighter? I don't know. How are you, Megan? All right, let's get started. Let's talk about, I'm going to show you how to do a pretty cute little card tonight. Now, this is the layout of the card. We're going to use a different stamp set. Oh, that's a bit better. That's good. Yeah, I don't know why it was so crooked. Like my paper's lined up. It's just this little thing is doing weird stuff. I'm doing pretty well, Megan. I just have to keep telling myself I'm doing well. Yeah, so we're going to make this little card. Now, if you wanted, you could put another piece of cardstock on the inside. So we might do that in the next card that we make. Now, I made this with the Peaceful Evergreen stamp set and the Peaceful Season stamp sets from the mini catalogue on pages 24 and 25. The ribbon is from the annual catalogue, and I am going to show you a little trick with that. So tonight we're not talking about this bundle. We're actually talking about a really overlooked bundle of products that are in the annual catalogue, I think. Let me just double check. They are, no, they're online. Of course they are. All right, the Stamping Right markers. That is a bundle of 4 different lots of 4 different colour families of these markers. Now I'm about to invest in some more because I've had most of my markers since when I became a demonstrator around 15 years ago. So I need to replace them, and so because they don't last forever, but I think that 15 years is a pretty good innings. And I've managed to make that crooked again. I don't know which way I've got to turn it. Anyway, I think that we need to play with the markers. And I'm also going to show you like this card, and if we're quick enough, another card, but we're going to use the Frosted Forest stamp set instead of the Peaceful Evergreens. All right, so let's get started. If you're watching, please share this Facebook Live with your crafty friends, and make sure you comment so that I know that you're here. So let's start with the first thing. Now, Megan mentioned more pretty ribbon. Yes, Glenda. This month, you'll find most of my projects will use the markers. Okay, so you would have seen them on Saturday. I used them at least once. So we're going to start with one technique with the markers. Now, this is from the annual catalogue. This is the iridescent ribbon. It is, it's a striped trim, iridescent striped trim ribbon. Now, it is white. Now, I don't know if you can see that. It is white. I don't know if you can see that it's white, but the beautiful thing is that you can colour it. So I'm just going to grab my Balmy Blue. I don't have a Bashful Blue anymore. That's a long time ago. Bashful Blue Stampin' Right marker. And I'm just going to colour my ribbon. Now you could do this with stamping blends, but stamping blends, as much as I love them, they're an expensive item. And if you don't put the lid on quite right, they dry out, and although these can dry out, but not often, they are a much less expensive option. Now you can buy each colour family, or you can, they come in a set of 10, I believe. And then you can buy the in colours as well each year. Now I'm just going over this with my, yeah, it's probably very loud, and I'm sorry, I am a bit heavy-handed with my markers. Now, depending on how dark you want your ribbon, depends on how much you go over it. Hi, Glenda S. How are you? Hope you're well. Okay, so I've just coloured up to where I think I'll need, and I'm going to cut that coloured bit off. I haven't taken it off my thing. Put away my scratch paper. Now, you'll see it's quite, it won't take long to dry. So I'm going to grab my 10-second bow maker. So I'm just going to pop it here. I've got my little reel of my bow. Now, you might change this up if you're left-handed. So I'm going to go round and underneath and up through the middle and then chuck that piece under. Now, Kayla Renee should be watching this. Oh, they are on a page 131. Oh, thank you, Megan. I knew that I'd watch you for a reason. Okay, well that makes it so much easier. So here are the Stampin' Right marker collection. So it's a 4 main colour family, so that's 40 markers. They're bundled, so they're normally $250, but if you buy all 4 together, you get a discount, 10% off. Okay, now I can tell you that this month I will have a special offer on these markers. So keep your eye out for that. Okay, so here we go. We've got our little bow made. Now I'm going to just set that aside to dry a little bit more. Now you can use your heat tool on a low setting to dry this ink more quickly. Once it's dry, it won't come off, all right? I know, Megan, where is she? You should tag her and just, hey, Chrissy did a live demo and you missed it. All right, so I'm just gonna let that, sit my little bow and let it dry, okay? I'll move my sample card out the way. Just wipe off any excess, because as you're colouring you will get some ink on, and I've been, as you can tell, I've been doing lots of blue today. Actually only in the last couple of hours. I need to go wash my hair. Hi Rhoda, thanks for watching. Okay, so let's talk about our card. So you can see this card here, and I will have changed this up, all right? You can buy the individual colour families, but I won't have the same special on that, Megan. But I'll talk about that, and that's coming very, very soon. Okay, so I've got a piece of A4 cardstock, just cut in half. If you're in the US, just cut a piece of letter cardstock in half. And we're just going to fold it, and my husband today, he after he finished his work, he took the rest of my bone folders downstairs to put my name on them with the laser. And he's got to bring them back up. So I'm using my fingernail because it's acrylic and it works. All right. So we've got 2 pieces of white. Now these are, they're approximately 3 3/4 inches by 5.5 inches, or 10 centimetres by 14.5 centimetres. Depends on how you work, okay? Your girlfriend as in Delphi girl, or as in Vicky? Seen both today. Alright, so we are still going to use the Peaceful Evergreen a little bit because I like this snowy bit. The Delphi girl's a bit freaked out. She doesn't like change. So, and she doesn't like beeping noises. So the laser that we have beeps. The laser etcher beeps, and God, all my blocks are missing. All right, and she doesn't like that. But that's okay. She came inside, and so you'll see this is a brand new stamp set. I haven't even put the labels on, so I'm quickly going to pop a label on because I know everybody loves to learn how to do this. So I've got my block. There's a very old block, so it's scratchy, and I've put the sticky side of my label on my block. You Going to use the point of my scissors. You could use a take your pick tool. I do have that. And just take off the backing paper. Would have been easier with a take a pick. All right. Now this is the easiest way to get those labels on your stamps. Now I get really annoyed with myself if I go to use a stamp set and I haven't put it together, which is what has happened today when I just grabbed the stamp set and went, oh, I need to do something with that. All right. So now what you're going to do is you're just going to pop your label. So you've got your stamp rubber side down. You're going to pop your label on here. And I know people say that this takes time, but if you're using it, it actually doesn't take a lot of time at all. All right. So I just want to put this on here. Now I've inked this up today, so it's probably going to be super, super juicy. I'm just going to put some, now this is the inside of the card. Just going to put some of these snowflakey things all the way around. And I'm using a block that's too big, and I think it's retired too. Just because it's one that is here, because I don't know where the rest of the blocks are that were in the caddy. They're probably on the dining table or something. All right, and just not even re-inking it, just get as much ink off that as I can. All right. Wipe it off. I will use my stamping mist to clean it properly. Right. How are your puppies going, Megan? Oh, they're probably down there too, yeah. Oh, well, he was playing with them. So some of my blocks, it didn't really work. What he was trying to do, and yeah, had to go with plan B. So I'm going to also from this, so we're mixing two stamp sets. We're mixing this Peaceful Evergreens and the Frosted Forest from, which is an online exclusive. So I'm going to put this one together too while we're here. Because I like these trees. I'm taking off the backing paper. Did I stuff that up? No, I didn't. I didn't find the join. Now some people take half the backing paper off, and I don't really see the point of that. Oh, Frank is crafting away with you and Basil is watching the block with Ian. Oh. Did anyone watch the last episode of Hunted? I want to know if the people got caught or not. I don't watch it anyway, but I just, I started watching The Amazing Race and then I went, oh, I've got to, while I was doing some prep, and I thought, oh no, I've got to watch Vicky's video. All right, so we've got our little trees. That was pretty easy, putting that sticker on the back of it. Now we're just going to ink them up. I don't need anything underneath it, but I will keep my silicone mat there just to preserve this grid paper for a little while. I'm just lining this up with the bottom, and because it's just been re-inked, it's quite dark, isn't it? I went over the edge, just wipe that off. All right, so that's the inside of our card. That's all ready. Now we need to have our paper trimmer. And what we're going to do, and this card will be slightly different to the first one. So you'll see that this has got a blue bit at the top, a blue bit in the middle and a blue bit at the bottom. All right, and then there's got this free range bit. All right, so you have, oh, okay, and who won? Megan? I think that's the answer you're giving me. So what we want to do is, I'm just going to put that aside for now, is we're going to grab our trimmer. Now I find it easier to work in inches for the bits at the end. All right, so what I'm going, this score line here, I'm going to line it up with the 1.5 inch mark on my trimmer. So around about 3 3/4 centimeters. So, okay. Just move my scoring thing out the way and we're going to cut it. All right. So that is your top fold, and this, and we're making it a little bit different. And the reason I'm making it different is because I found that wasn't quite wide enough to put a full dimensional on. It was so close and nail biting. Oh dear. Oh, did they get the money though? Okay, so then this piece I'm going to cut from the bottom, so not from the cut edge, from this edge, at 1.5 inches as well, so 3 3/4 centimeters. Okay, so that will be this piece here. All right, so you've got your top and this will be your bottom. Okay, then this piece, scrappy piece that's left, it's going to join the two together. How cool is that? Now I do have a piece of blue as well. Oh, no, sorry, Night of Navy. And I'm just going to adjust that because I cut it. So this one here, we're going to take it, we're going to actually adjust it to the nearest 3/4 inch, just because it's easier. Oh, goodness me. And then we can just make this one 3 inches wide. Okay. So this one is this one is 4 1/4 inches long, and then 3 inches wide. And so let's talk about our white bits that we have left. So this is 10 centimeters wide. Yeah, so I did cut it in centimeters when I did it that way. But what I want to do is, we know that that's 1.5 inches. So we're going to cut it to 1 1/4 inch. Then we're going to cut another one. And then we're going to cut this one here. Oh, that's not very straight, is it? I was too busy reading the comments. Oh dear. I'll just straighten that up. That's why we need to concentrate when we're cutting. So we've got this piece here, it's going to fit on here nicely. So, is it straight? Yeah, it'll fit on there straight. So this is the bottom. You could actually make it the top because it's going to, like, you're not going to see the middle bit of it, okay? Then this one here, we're going to cut a second piece. So let's straighten up that edge. Make sure the edge is straight. I was too busy reading the comments. Ah. So then we're going to, see, that one's not straight either. We're going to just flip it over and I must have been really not concentrating. Just trim this up. Make sure it's all nice. Oh, goodness me. Why is that not? See, I've been working since 8 o'clock this morning, so I am a little bit frazzled, I think. And I need to change the blades on my trimmer, and I will show you how to do that next week. The top edge isn't straight. Is that what it is? We're just going to trim all the way around and see if we can sort this out. That might be it. So when your blade is not sharp enough, you get these burry edges. Flip it that way, see if that edge is straight. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Let's see if that one's straight now. So we've got, so this one will be 10. So we want it 10 centimetres wide, so we're just going to turn that round. No. Yes, we're going to turn it round. And we want to cut it. We want to cut another 1.5 inches off, okay? Yeah. So the 1.5 inches will go on this little, no, sorry, 1.25 inches. I might have to do that whole bit again. No, let's just, 1.25 inches. We want to cut 1.25 inches, right? You know what? It's not going to make a big deal. It's just cardstock. Okay? That's better. 1.25 inches. So we'll have this bit down the bottom, which is 1.25 inches as well. By 10 centimetres. So this one here should fit in here. And if it doesn't, we can just trim it. Okay? Because I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, I did this. I practiced this so I would have this right. How funny is that? So that one's 2 3/4 inches. So we're going to go cut it down to 2. Let's cut it down to 2 5/8 and see how that goes. See if we like the look of that. Because we can cut a little bit more off if we need. We need to cut a little bit more out, so it's going to end up being 2.5 inches. All right, let's go. We'll go over those measurements again, and I'll write them down for you. So this one is 10 centimetres wide by 2.5 inches. These two pieces are 10 centimetres wide by Why is that one not 10 centimetres wide? That's weird. Let's cut the one down. Oh, they're both supposedly 10 centimetres wide. It's supposed to be 10 centimetres wide. Let's get another piece of cardstock. I don't know what happened there. I've just made it way more complicated. So we're going to just cut this bit of spare, 10 centimetres wide. Technically, you should just be able to cut it in 3 if you're thinking. All right. 1 1/4. 1 1/4 inches by 10 centimetres wide. And I'll write the measurements in the comments so that you know that you got it right. So that one goes there. This one's going to go here. Right. This one is going to go in the middle of that. And then that one's going to go there. Goodness me. Made a bit of a meal of that, didn't I? Oh, well. See, when I make mistakes like that, it just makes everybody else feel so much better. Okay, we might not get our second card done because I stuffed up. All right, we're going to, with this one here, grab back our peaceful evergreens because we want that. Now, you could use any, if you've got dotty things for something else, use those. Oh. Let's see. Oh, now I've lost it. Now I've lost my screen. Oh, goodness me. Let's try again. I can't even find where I am. There we go. Sorry about that. Technology is not my friend today. I don't think it's ever my friend. All right, so I'm going to grab my Balmy Blue ink pad. I just want to put some of these dots on the top, just to make it nice and festive, or I don't know, snowy. I think that's what we call it. Now, did everyone see my video yesterday about my our fundraiser and the raffle tickets and the raffle prizes? We've had some really great prizes donated. Now, I'm going to use this Frost Forest stamp. Now, this is slightly different to this one, and I want to see if it works a bit better. My camera seems to be moving all over the place. Seems to be top heavy. Right. Now, the prizes are pretty good, and we're really lucky that Charlene and Marnie donated such wonderful things. Now, because this is a photopolymer stamp set, we need our piercing mat underneath. Okay, so we're just going to put our stamp on our piercing mat and just let it relax. And then when it's relaxed for a second, we'll just pick it up. Now we're going to do what we call thumping technique. Move all these other pieces out of the way. Now, a thumping technique, it's one of the first techniques that I did when I went to a class with the lovely Kim Byrne. all those years ago. So that would have been 16 years ago that I went to my first class with Kim. And this was one of the techniques which was really popular at the time, and I think people forget about it. So I've inked up my stamp with my balmy blue ink. And now it's time we bring in those lovely markers. Right now, we are going to use, I have got Blueberry Bushel, I've got Boho Blue, got Misty Moonlight, and I've also got Night of Navy. Now I want to show you the difference between the new markers and the old ones. So this Night of Navy I've had forever, and it's on its way out. It's well and truly on its way out. So you can see that it's got a really fine point, whereas the new Blueberry Bushel, which is a new style of marker, it has more of a bullet tip. This tip is pretty useless on the old Night of Navy one. All right, let's have a look at the other end. Now, depending on when your Stamping Right markers were manufactured, like this one, if you look at the tip of that, so they've got a brush tip on each end. So you look at the Night of Navy one, which is the old style, it's almost a bullet brush tip, whereas this Blueberry Bushel one is a nice fine brush tip. That's the one we want, and that's a new one. Hey Marnie, thank you for joining us. Hope you're well. All right, so what we're going to do with using a brush tip, the good thing about Stamping Right markers is you can use them on your stamps. You cannot use your stamping blends. So we're just going to, with our Stamping Right markers, just gently thump it on our stamp. So I'm using some Blueberry Bushel. Now I know that my Misty Moonlight, Night of Navy is very, very old, so it might not show up, but I'm just going to thump that on randomly. I've got some Misty Moonlight as well. Now the reason we're thumping this and just doing it randomly, and remember we've got the Balmy Blue. Yeah, of course you can use them. They're water-based. So that's why you can use them, because they are water-based. So you can use them on the red rubber, and you can use them on your clear photopolymer stamps. So now I've got my ink on there, so I'm just going to breathe on it. So I'm going to go all right, and that reactivates the ink, and we're going to try and center it top to bottom. Just press it down, and voila. I don't know if you can see that. You've got specks, all different speckles of blue in there. Now if I just grab it, I'll just grab my piece of Balmy Blue, and I'll just show you what happens if I just stamped it plain, and you might be able to see that, the difference. I'll stamp it plain. Alright, so there's no dark spots or anything on it. It's all the one colour, whereas this one here has got some different interest in it. all right, because trees aren't all the one colour. Okay. Now you can use these markers on your red rubber stamps as well, and I'm going to show you, if I hurry, I will show you another really quick technique. I probably won't make the whole card. And yes, it definitely creates more definition and more interest. So now we want to choose our sentiment, and I am going to just use the thinking of you. No. I'm going to grab out another stamp set. I'm going to grab out the stamp set that we used in the first, that I used for the other one. And I'm just going to put on here, love from our home to yours. Okay. Now again, this is a photopolymer stamp set, so we're going to need our piercing mat or a piece of foam, and we are going to, now there's one that says from our home to yours and one that says from my home to yours. We're going to do it, find that other little bit of white that we had before. Now we're going to do another technique with our Stampin' Right markers. So we're just going to rest our sentiment on our cardstock, just so it's nice and relaxed and straight. So if you tried to manipulate it, like you could curve it and all sorts of things, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to do it like this. Oh, I forgot to put the star on that. I need to do that. Okay, so this says love from our home to yours, and I'm just going to grab my Stampin' Right markers. We'll get rid of the Night of Navy because we know that that doesn't work as well, and we're going to each of the words colour. So we're going to go some love in the balmy blue. And I'm going to go in with my boho blue. Now sometimes I get a little bit of pick up a little bit of stuff from the baby wipe, bit of fluff, so you just want to make sure that you've taken that off. Love from, and then we're going to go Misty Moonlight, and we're going to make that 2 words, our home. So I probably can't see it too well. And then the bashful blue, no, the blueberry bushel. I don't know what it is about bashful blue. I've mentioned that several times tonight, and it's such an old colour. Now don't worry if you get the marker on the back of your stamp. All right, I'm just going to huff it again. All right, and I'm putting it, centering it left to right, just close to the bottom. Okay, now if you were using something like a stamp positioning tool, you could make sure that that love, you could go back over it if any of them didn't turn out, but I'm not using that tonight. we're going old school. I'm just wiping off any of that ink. Get that out the way. No, I didn't love Bashful Blue, Marnie. I detested it. It was the most insipid colour. Well, that's in my humble opinion. Other people will disagree, but one of my teams, she loved it. And just loved it. And I just could not stand it. Now, I'm going to just grab from this Peaceful Evergreen, I'm just going to grab the star. And I am going to quickly mount it on the block, because I hadn't done that yet. And once, it doesn't take long to mount them. So once you've started doing them, do the rest to the, when I finish here, I'll go downstairs and I'll hopefully, unless something else happens, I will just finish putting these together because I can. So I'm just going to line that up. Now, because it is a 5-pointed star, you need to be a little bit careful that you've got it right. And you need to make sure that you're trying to put it on to the right side. So that's the top, I think. That's a problem when the images, the shape is the same way all the way around. Okay, so with this 5-pointed star, we're going to, again, grab our Stampin' Right markers. This time I'm going to grab my Bashful Blue. Now this is an old style one as well. No, my Balmy Blue. Oh, goodness me. I'm going to grab this light blue. That's hilarious. Oh dear, I think I need a coffee. And then I'm going to grab my Blueberry Bushel and I'm just going to, so I've covered the whole of the star with the light blue, and then I am just going around the very, very edges with the Blueberry Bushel. Now you start with your lightest colour first. Then I might just put a couple of spots of using the thin tip of Misty Moonlight in there. Now, because this isn't a photopolymer stamp, we can't really see how to line that up perfectly. But we're giving it a good go. And it's not exactly lined up. And I'm okay with that because what I'm going to do is I am going to go rogue and change it up. So I haven't re-inked it. I am just adding 3 stars. Okay, the top one is going to be covered, but they're really faint stars. And if you look at that top one, you'll see that it's 3 different colours. Okay, so you can sort of give it like an ombre effect. Anyway, that didn't go according to plan at all. I needed a stamp positioning tool. All right, let's start putting this together. And then I'll really quickly show you the other technique with the markers. If I can't stuff that up too. Here we go. That's so funny. All right. So let's, so we stamp the inside. So we're going to stick that to our base. So remember before we had our card that we had cut 1.5 inches off the top and bottom. Like we folded it in half. We'd cut 1.5 inches off the top. We'd cut 1.5 inches off the bottom. Right, so we're going to line that bottom piece off, and then we've got this bit in the middle which we sort of trim down a little bit. So then we're going to, because I made such a mess of my cutting, I'm just going to get my scissors and just rough that up. Okay. And because I've got my Stamping Right marker, I'm actually going to colour around the end on the outside of this one. So all I need to do is grab my brush end and I am going to just gently run it along the edge. Now it's the more of an angle, the more colour you get, but I just want a very, very light colour. And I'm doing it along the side. I'm not trying to draw, I'm just easing it along the edge. Now if you were left-handed, you'd hold it in your left hand and you'd just do the same thing like that, okay? And you do that on all four sides. So just like that. And if you're not left-handed, you're right-handed, well then you just do it that way. And the more you put it on an angle, the more colour. So then, when you grab your scissors and rough it up a little bit, what do they call it? Distress it. You can see that blue just a little bit more. And I'm only distressing it because I needed to replace my trimmer blade and it was all furry. Okay. So if there is an issue, I'm showing you here that you can fix it. All right. It's not a big deal. Okay. So we've got this back layer. That one's pretty crisp. So we're actually going to put that on some dimensionals, like the original card, we just had it flat. All right, this one we're going to add lots of height because this will be more giving it to somebody card, like handing it to your friend. Now if you wanted to, you can stick a piece of white, and we've already got a bit that's stamped, so we might do that. Stick that stamped bit that we had from before. Here, we could put that on the inside, on the other reverse side. I'll show you what I mean in a second. We could, but I don't think we will. Okay, so we're going to stick that there. We use even more dimensionals. So are we all still watching, or have I lost everybody? I can see I've got 6 people watching, but I don't know who's watching. I know I've got Marnie, Glenda, and Megan, and me. So I don't know if anyone else who's watching. If I haven't said hello, sorry I didn't see you come on. Oh, Rhoda, I think, was watching. I think that's who it was. Okay. If I've missed you and hasn't said a hello, I'm sorry. All right. So it's definitely a comedy of errors tonight, isn't it? So we're going to stick this one on this piece of white that we've already stamped up the top. So we line it up with the white on the inside because they should be the same width. All right, they should be. Oh, Glenda's still there too. Great. Yeah, everyone's still here. Fantastic. So sometimes the iPad freezes and you don't know who's watching and you go, oh, I hope I'm not just talking to Yeah, but then I know people come watch it later. So, yeah. So is everyone having a good week? I'm excited about this week. We've got retreat on Saturday. I've got all my early bird gifts are all made. I'm so excited about them. Oh. All right, so we've got this bit here. So you can put it in the middle, or you can put it to the left, you can put it to the right, but I'm going to stick with the middle. So see, because I've made these two bits here 1.5 inches instead of 1.25, it gives our little centerpiece a lot more room to stick to. But what I do like to do is to grab the edges of my dimensionals and put it on the very, very edge of this centerpiece, so that, and actually when you're using Night of Navy cardstock, use black dimensionals. Okay, then I'm going to pop this piece here, and I am going to pop just a thin strip. Now if you had the self-adhesive strips, you could use those. They're nice and thin. You don't want anything too bulky, just in case, because you don't want to be sticking to this back piece. All right, I can't wait till Friday either, Marnie. I can't wait till Saturday either. It's going to be awesome. I've been through my list. I've got 4 things to put on my list, or 4 things to pack that are on my list. So I am so excited. And like when I say pack, even though retreat is here in Brisbane, or here at Algester, we have to pack a lot of stuff too. Like you have to pack decorations and tablecloths and prize patrols and raffle prizes and all sorts of things. All right, so not real happy with that star because of the... So remember before we coloured our ribbon with our Stamping Right marker? So, what I was going to say is you can put a piece of white on the inside there, so people could write on that and not write on there. So you could do that stamped piece or whatever. So you can, and that might hold it together a little bit better. Oh, let's just do it. Let's do it. We'll just do a plain piece of white, hey? Oh, let's see how wide that is. So that piece there is 3 inches wide. So if we cut this one to 2 3/4, and about 10.5 centimeters, which is about 4 1/8. Let's just stick that down flat, hey? And then then you've got somewhere to write. I'm just using my Seal Plus. Got somewhere to write. I'm just stepping it up a little bit. So then I can just write here, or they can write here. All right. So we've got, thank you, Glenda. We'll miss you. We will very much miss you. Now I've got some different gems and stuff. Oh, we need to stick our bow on that I made with my 10-second bow maker, and we coloured it with our Stampin' Right marker. And I'll just press this here, and you can see the colour's not coming off. Okay, it's completely dried, dries really quickly. I'm just going to use, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to put a glue dot where I want my bow, and I'm sort of covering up that star a little bit. So I could have just left the star off altogether really. And then I'm going to put a little bit of Seal Plus either side, and it's the teeniest bit either side. So when I stick my bow on, the loops are going to stick on too. Okay, and I can put a little bit more because Seal Plus is perfect for bows, attaching those loops of the bows. Okay, so I'm thinking, now I can't decide between the 4-pack of tinsel gems or the 3-pack of tinsel gems. And I think that, oh, thank you Glenda, I think that I'm leaning more towards the 3-pack of tinsel gems. So these are sort of a bit paler blue. What do we reckon? 3-pack? We've got light or we've got dark. I'm thinking the lighter one. Just write in the comments and let me know what you think. So we've got light, and then we've got dark. I'm thinking, can't see any comments yet. I'm thinking the light. Oh, Marnie's going dark. Oh, Megan, what do you reckon? And Glenda, what do you reckon? The other option I've got here is some sparkle dots. These are in colour sparkle dots, but they're a different blue. They're the boho blue. Or I've got rainbow dots, rainbow adhesive back dots, or I've got the ombre ones. Oh, Megan's good. She wants to go a mixture. I've got these ombre ones too, but I think I like the sparkly ones. All right, let's do a mixture. All right. Too many choices for Glenda. Oh, I didn't stick that down very well. Let's stick that back down. I'm telling you how good that Seal Plus works, and it didn't. Okay, we'll start with the, let's just do my glue dot. That ribbon's going to annoy me. Oh goodness. Oh, I did a Carla Renee. Pulled out. I don't have to super glue that back together. I don't know how I managed to do that with my Take My Pick tool. Oh goodness me. We are going to glue that down with liquid glue. All right, so we're going to start with a dark one down here. Start with a dark one down here. No, none of them. Oh. And another Glenda can't choose. Then I'm going to do this one up here. Alright, I'm going to pop this one up here. I'm just putting 3 on this time. And I'm not putting 5, just 3. And then I've got this one here. Oh, I quite like that. Let's maneuver that into where the spot where I want it. All right, so that's that one. A 4-pack. Oops, got to get them in the right case. Ah, some coloured ones on the tree like baubles. Oh, now you... what colour? Oh, some pink, because I like pink. Good idea, Megan. We're going to just do a few light pink ones because... Pop that one. I think I'm just going to use the smaller ones. Even though the smaller ones are almost as big as the large ones. Oh, I think a few pink ones. Pink. Oh, goodness. Making a bit of a meal of it. I'll move that one up the top. Good thinking, Megan. You like your bling though. On there. So I have to have an even number on the trees because I've got an odd number. On the outside of the tree. I think I'll move this one up. Try not to put them in a really straight line. Maybe about there. And then we'll have this pink one down here. Right, like that. So it needs to be over a bit. There we go. How's that? Is that what you meant, Megan? All right. I think that looks pretty good. All right, so that is that that card. I do quickly want to show you the technique, and I will finish the card after this. Using this same Frosted Forest stamp set, I think it looks really pretty. Like, it doesn't it look a bit luxurious and I think that I definitely like the Frosted Forest tree better than the Peaceful Evergreens tree. But I do like the texture of the Peaceful Evergreens tree. I just like the Frosted Forest card. So you've learned a couple of techniques so far with Stampin' Right markers. So we've learned how to colour our ribbon, we've learned how a thumping technique on the stamp, colour the stamp, to colour the edges. Now the last little technique, and as I said, I'm not going to make the card, but I am going to show you the technique. I've got this Frosted Forest stamp set again. Now it comes with dies. Now this is an online exclusive. It's not in the mini catalogue. Yes, the tree on the right, the Peaceful Evergreens tree, it has a fuller tree. So this is the one I used. This one is too tall for that piece of cardstock, and that one looks stupid. All right, so we used a tall, skinny one. add more. Now, I am going to just grab this here. Now I've already cut this piece here with our Nested Essentials dies. Now I'm going to just relax my stamp. Now we are using stamping markers. Yeah, I think they are. The other trees are not. The Frosted Forest trees are nicer, or the Peaceful Evergreen trees are nicer. I think the Frosted Forest gives you lots of different types of trees. Now, this isn't quite... I'm using a retired block, so it's not quite big enough for this stamp. Now, I'm going to stamp this in Early Espresso, and I have got all this other stamping right markers. Now, this is the one that comes with the mask, and I've got the masks here, and we're using, I'm going to show you a quick technique with this, using the stamping right markers and the masks, right? So I've got a few ink boogers on this, so I'm just going to wipe off the excess ink. I haven't used this stamp before tonight. It's been sitting on my shelf for a month, and I have not used it before today. So this is the largest of the hexagons in the Nested Essentials dies. So the Nested Essentials has got, well, some people call it a coffin, but it's not a coffin because a coffin is a slightly different shape usually. It's more, it's less symmetrical. So this is a hexagon that's symmetrical lengthways as well as widthways. All right, so I've just inked this up in Early Espresso, and I'm okay that if it goes slightly off the edge, I should be right though. Okay, so I'm going to ink that up. Right. So I'm still going to need my block. Okay, and I'm hoping that sponge dauber made its way up here. If not, we're going to use something else. All right, it looks like the sponge dauber's disappeared. I'm not using a blending brush. I don't want to use a blending brush with this. I did really want to use a sponge dauber, but it seems to have run away. How can that happen? All right, get rid of all my blues off my table. Get rid of that. Now I'm going to keep my block. We need a bit of scratch paper, I think. I had a piece of that before, a piece of scratch paper. Now I've got the masks that go with this and my block. Now what I want to do is grab my first mask. So this has got masks to go with this tree and this tree and that tree, and yeah, there's lots of masks. So this is part of the bundle. So it's got a mask for the center of the tree. So it's got a number 1 written on it. Now, I'm going to grab a little bit of Post-it note, and I'm just going to also grab a little bit of seal plush, and I'm going to stick my tree to the background. It'll come off, all right? I just want to, I don't want that to move, all right? No, my take downstairs basket is here, and it's not there, Megan. See, that's one take downstairs basket, and this is my other take downstairs basket, which has got the cardstock, and it's got the yeah, it's not. It's all right. We can use something else. Right, so now I'm just going to line that up, and what I want to do, I'm going to use my Stamping Right marker, and at the top of your mask, it's got a little V. Now I just want to, on my scratch paper, make sure that I have got that V covered. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to grab our Stamping Right marker, and we're going to decide what colour we want our trunk, right? And I'm going to, because I don't have a sponge dauber out here, we're going to see if it works with tissues. All right, so it's a nice clean tissue. It should do. We're going to give this a go. And if it doesn't, we'll try again. I don't think it will work as well as what I want it to, because, and I've got a little bit of stamping mist. Actually, I've got a little bit of water. Just spritz that little bit of water, make it a bit more runny, and that should get it in. So we used to use, there used to be this product called a Swisper, and they were like a like a cotton makeup cleaning pad, and we used to use those a lot with our Stamping Right markers and for techniques and stuff. So this will be really, really light. If I had my sponge dauber, it wouldn't be as light, and I wouldn't need water. So we're making this technique up as we go. So we've got our, sorry, that was copper clay. I'm also going to grab, so I've wiped off all the ink off that, and I'm going to grab some pecan pie. And we're just writing it on your block. Just teeny spritz of water. Find and we're just going to put that over top as well. See if this works. Might need some more. Now you could use a cotton bud if you had one. I'm not in my bathroom, so I don't have a cotton bud. But we're just going to see if this works, because it works really well with sponge daubers. Trust me on that. Okay. And I know that I deliberately picked it up so that I would have it. And you know, I'll turn off the camera and it will appear. Now, let's have a look, see if there's one in here. I've got a mouse in there, but no, and I've got scissors and no. Okay, let's, so that's our first layer. It's not going to be perfect because we haven't got the sponge dauber that we can press hard enough to get into those little things, but it's going to be reasonably okay. I'll just up here. So if you use the edge of your tissue, the problem with the tissue is that it is very, very absorbent. So you might even say, okay, I'm going to use my Stampin' Right markers and I'm just going to thump it, similar to what we did with the stamp, and get into those little little crevices. So there's no rules of how you should and shouldn't use these masks. Oh, well, there are a few. Don't use stamping blends on them. They don't really like that. All right, so we've got our trunk. That doesn't look too bad, given that we didn't have all the tools. So we're going to take number 2. We're going to line that up here. All right. Now this time, I'm going to use some green. And I want to make this sort of like a fall tree. So this is, I've got some shaded spruce. So I'm just going to use my shaded spruce and just thump it around the edge. Okay, the very, very edge. So it's on the mask, but it's also on the tree, right? Now, if you haven't lined it up, you can just wriggle it and line it up perfectly. Now don't get too caught up with, oh, it's not going to look perfect straight away. It's not meant to. Trees are in nature are not perfect. Now I really like shaded spruce, so that's why I'm using that. And it's also one of the ones that I have the new style markers for. I don't have, as I said, most of mine I've had for 15 years. And that was one of the things when, as soon as I became a demonstrator, I bought was a whole set of, well, they called it Many Marvelous markers. I don't know if they still call it that. Yeah. Try not to be too heavy-handed. I'm a bit heavy-handed today because of how I'm feeling. And now I'm going to just put some on here. And I'm going to get some other colours as well. So I'm going to do some, so that was shaded spruce. This one is Shy Shamrock. Okay. And we're going to, I didn't want to use a blending brush, but we'll just see if we can mix the two together and how that goes. We're not blending them as, see it's sort of, it does work. It works a bit better than the tissue, but we can go back with the tissue again. Now, I don't want too much green. What I also want to do is, because I want to make this an autumn sort of a tree, I've got some other autumn colours here. So I've got Real Red, Cajun Craze, Pumpkin Pie, Daffodil, and Wild Wheat. So I'm going to use all of those. Good night, Marnie. I'll see you in a few days. Thanks for watching. So we've got some wild wheat. We're going to put some... See, look at my poor pumpkin pie. I've had this forever, but it still works. Look at that. So this is an old... The pumpkin pie is definitely an old style. So I'm going to just put all different colour, like just splotch them. Right. I'm going to splotch some Cajun craze on there as well, because you can. Bit of... Should have done the crushed curry first. So again, the crushed curry is another really old one, so is Cajun craze. So we're doing a whole lot of different colours. Do some more wild wheat over here. So the wild wheat is a new one. So it's a bit intriguing, I know. It's not quite what you might expect. Now you could just use your block and flip it over onto your... I've got a bit of crushed curry, because that's another nice autumn colour. So I'm thinking around, thinking about how the leaves change colour. All right. Thank you for those sticking with me. And then we're going to add some greens in there as well. So this was a shy shamrock. Now I'm not going to spritz this one. I am going to use my blending brush and hope it works the same way that a sponge dauber would be. So if you just had a sponge, you could do this. Pity I'm not close to enough to the bathroom to grab the sponge. And we'll put a bit of the shaded spruce in there too to make some darker leaves. And we'll see how this goes. This could be an epic, epic fail. So we're just going to smash it on. So it's still got a bit of the pecan pie. Now it's just splitting it on. So you're using the colour from your... So it's not going to be bright. The other thing that you can do, and I like to do this all the time, let's try another, we will spritz that one, see if that one works. You're probably going, oh, Chrissy, you need to stop making stuff up as you go along. Just going to press that on. So it's starting to come together, and I've moved my mask, so that's not going to be perfect. Then you can grab your markers and you get your lid and you just flick. And you're going to flick all over. Don't be too hard, but flick all over that masked layer. Okay, so this is the Cajun craze. So do lots of splatters. So we'll do Cajun craze. We'll do a bit of cherry cobbler because we can. Okay, can you see how it's starting to work? We'll do a bit of wild wheat. Starting to look like multicoloured leaves. Now this is sort of an epic fail. It's not really a fail. It would be much better if I had the sponge dauber to show you the proper technique. I might have to refilm that. We'll grab our shaded spruce. Now some people don't like doing this with your markers because they're worried about that it's damaging the ends. I can tell you the ends of my markers aren't damaged from doing this. They're damaged from years of classes where people are very, very rough. Some of those people no longer come to classes, so we've got lots of splatters of colour. What is it? Coming together. And a little bit of yellow, a bit of crushed curry. See, so crushed curry, I probably had that one for about 10 years, and that's in pretty good condition, and it gets used a lot. Okay, so then we're going to just take that off, and as I said, my mask moved before, but it's not looking too bad. It's then got another layer I can add on. So you could add some even more darker pieces on if you wanted to. I don't know. I think we might. Let's get that post-it and stick it down really well this time. And we might add a bit of pecan pie. No, a bit of copper clay. So we're just going to wipe that block. Okay. We're just going to add some copper clay to our block. So this is really good if you don't have ink pads, all right? Just going to maneuver it down just a teeny bit because I can see that it's not exactly where I want it to be. So let's make sure that it's where we want it to be. Because some of it will go off the edge of, because it wants to have some light colour. So we'll just pop this on here. I'm going to grab my blending brush, just wipe it off and use that just to press on. So if you don't have an ink pad the right colour, you can use your Stampin' Right markers. And I'm going to redo this video and do it with the sponge daubers because I won't do it live, I'll just do it. I think that it just needs a little bit more of the copper clay. So you can keep adding it as dark or as light as you like. So you could have just done this, like done the first layer with a with the Shy Shamrock, then done this layer with the oh, you're very tired. Thank you for watching, Glenda. I like the blue one. The blue was a good technique. All right, so let's pull it off and see what you think. So let's just take it off there, back there, my scratch paper, so that you've got a motley tree. All right, I think I can quickly stick that together. Let's do it in pecan pie. So this is just half a sheet. I've got some DSP up here as well, which is the Regal's DSP. I don't think that looks too bad. it's just different, isn't it? And it's a bit therapeutic. And now you just wipe your, what I'll do is I'll just take these masks downstairs and I'll just run them under the kitchen tap. All right, the Stamping Right markers are water-based, just like your ink pads. They do use a different formulation to the ink pads. So some people go, oh, you can fill up your Stamping Right markers with your re-inkers. Well, Stampin' Up doesn't recommend that. All right, they say no, you shouldn't. But if your Stampin' Right marker is 15 years old, like mine, and you want to refill it with the Stampin' Right the ink refills, then you go ahead and do that. So let's just see which colour we want. So we've got Garden Green, we have got Shaded Spruce, we've got I think that actually the Old Olive, even though we haven't used any Old Olive, I think the Old Olive might be the way to go. What do you reckon? What's the other green we've got in here? Or we could go a Cajun Craze, I guess. That would be the other one that you might want to go. I'm thinking that I quite like the Garden Green because it's halfway between the Shy Shamrock and okay, Shaded Spruce. All right, Megan, you reckon Shaded Spruce? Okay, I think you might be right. So let's just grab our trimmer. So I'm going to cut this piece of Shaded Spruce to, because the other side has got leaves on it, but I think that the lines are nicer. Just going to cut it to 3 3/4 inches by 5.5 inches. Because inches sometimes when you're card making is so much easier. Okay, I'm not going to decorate the inside of the card. And normally when I use GSP I would use my multi-purpose glue, but I've got a Seal Plus that works, so I am just going with that today. So before I put it down, I've got some thread, and it's a copper clay thread. I'm going to make sure I'm going to have that around about the centre and put that behind Shaded Spruce and Pecan Pie. I never thought those two would go together. There you go. Okay. Ah, yes. I'm going to grab my glue dot. Now this linen thread is the Natural Tones linen thread, and that's in the mini catalogue. Oh, love it, love it, love it. So, so nice. And it's just so easy to use. I've put a glue dot underneath where I want my knot, so I can just tie my nice little knot. Grab some dimensionals. Pecan Pie is a nice colour. I use it a lot. I think it's a nice gingerbready sort of a colour. That's what it reminds me of, like Christmas cookies. Alright, I'm just going to town with the dimensionals. Remember, years and years ago, I went to a Stampin' Up event in Brisbane, and the head of Stampin' Up in Australia at that time was this lovely gentleman called by the name of Aaron Scott. Now, Aaron, they told him before the event, you've got to use more dimensionals. They're not selling properly. Anyway, Aaron did it. He wasn't a stamper. He was an administrator and a really nice person. And so he used these dimensionals, and I think that he probably used double. He would have used, on a piece of card that size, he would have used double. He was so funny because they told him that he had to use more. Now that's not quite in the right spot, so I'm just going to manoeuvre my ribbon down a little bit because I want this to be centered top to bottom. And I only put the glue dot there so that I could tie my knot. Just made it a little bit easier. So anyway, so then they sold out of glue dots. Not glue dots, they were dimensionals. They sold out of dimensionals after Aaron had done his demonstration. So then the next time we saw him at an event, he said, I'm told I'm not allowed to use as many. So he was such a lovely man. But yeah, he was so nice. All right, so we've got that. So that's a very bright background. I don't normally use a background that bright. And we have got some sparkly in colour gems that we can pop on this card. Now, because we've got copper clay in this, so this is the 2023-2024 in colour opaque sparkle dots. Whoops, I just took that off accidentally. These moody ones came off. We're going to use, oh look, you could use yellow, I wonder if, and I don't use wild wheat very often at all, but I wonder if we could do 3 wild wheat ones. Whoops, I took the backing off that. 3 wild wheat ones at the top. Do they show up enough? My other favourite colour is Pebble Path. I love Pebble Path, but I very rarely use wild wheat. They sort of look a bit gold, so I'm quite okay with them. So we've got 3 up there, and just to make it a little bit more interesting, I'm just going to do another 2 down the bottom here. Now, I have no more white cardstock up here. Do you like wild wheat, do you? Or do you like, or was that Pebble Path? Pebble Path is my new black I use. And I don't think when it retires that I would get rid of it. Okay. So we've got our tree, we've got our bling. Probably do need some words. I don't know what words we would use. What about thinking of you and how you strengthen my life? Let's just put thinking of you. I think that's probably better. So another technique for our Stampin' Right marker. Oh, Pebble Path. Okay, that's good. I'm going to say, how are we friends if you like wild wheat? Actually, I went to a Stampin' Up event with some other Brisbane-based demos, and one of the ladies said her favourite colour was wild wheat, and everybody looked at her like she was really strange. It was really funny. Okay, so I've got my copper clay. Now I could just ink it, mask it, but sometimes it's just easier to grab your marker. Now, I wanted to say a big thank you to everyone who put in orders and signed up for the paper share over the weekend. Really appreciate it. I had a last minute sign up for a paper share today. And lucky I had one spot left because I was sort of freaking out because I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to tell somebody that they can't be in it. And then someone signed up and I went, oh, isn't that fabulous? So thank you everyone for your support over the weekend. I haven't done my numbers yet to tell you how far I have left to go towards incentive trip. It does depend on a couple of things. Okay, let's just put that thinking of you down. I should really have a piercing mat underneath, or a foam mat. Oh no, don't like that one. So I had too much ink. So let's just get some of that off. Get some of these, what do you call it? Wispy bits off. I might just spray it with some water. And we're going to just try again. Not quite so much, so maybe be a little bit less heavy-handed. Wipe off any excess. And I'm using the side of my marker rather than the tip. And that just, that will give us a bit more control over how much ink you get on the stamp. Copper clay, I use that a lot too, yes. And because Stampin' Up was really clever when they released these 2023, 2025 colours, because they really gave us a whole new suite of, oh, I still don't like that, a whole new suite of neutrals, or a whole new lot of neutral options. Now, I'm going to do that one more time, making sure that I've wiped off any of the excess. So I'm looking forward to coffee, cake and cards tomorrow. I'm looking, lots of people are coming. We've got 4 people who are unwell or have medical appointments who can't come, which is a little bit sad. And we will miss them. Like, we've got a couple of people starting treatment, and other people who have just had treatment and had surgeries, and you know what? I'm going to leave it with that. Because I could go back and do this 50 times and it not work the way that I want it. This is what we have a magical paper trimmer for. And we're just going to cut off it nice and thin. Like, we're going to make it super thin. Right. I'm just going to even... I think that it might just be too thin. I'm okay with that. Well, let's see if this one's any better when I cut that. So I've got a couple of options, right? Oh, yeah. probably, and that's not straight either. I think this one's probably going to be better. And you know, if you can't see, like because it's late and you can't see, use your scissors. And I just decided as I'm doing this that I'm going to just cut a little bit more of this one, and I'm going to cut these words up. Okay, I cut. So I'm going to cut the words into 3 and put them on my tree. One more. Okay, so yes, I'm sorry I am struggling a little bit today. I'm hoping that next month, after retreat and after I've earned the incentive trip, fingers crossed, that I'll be able to have a break with Steve and celebrate his birthday, which is after World Car. It's the day before World Car Making Day, and we were going to go away, but because we're Fabio sitting, Chip sitting, puppy sitting, we aren't going away. So I get to craft with people on World Card Making Day. I'm excited about that. Oops. And we will go away for Steve's birthday later in the month. All right, so I've cut my thinking of you into little things. So we used the Stampin' Rope marker only to colour the parts of the stamp that we wanted to use. Okay. 3 weeks, I think. But Megan, I think Fabio's for 3 weeks. It's their 10th wedding anniversary, so they're going to Disneyland. And they went to Disneyland for their honeymoon, so I'm really excited for them. Yeah, I think it's 3 weeks. I don't know. I just know that he'll turn up and then they'll come and collect him when they get home. All right. I'm going to grab my thinking of you. I'm going to put them over my tree. Oops. I've lost my U. Oh, there it is. Not my O. Now, just going to grab my Stampin' Rope marker, go around the edges, make it a bit brighter. So, sorry, these are 2 really big technique cards tonight. So it is a lot longer than I planned. 2 hours, goodness me. But I also know there'll be I won't get to go live for as long next Tuesday. I don't know if I'll even get to go live next Tuesday because we're going to a funeral. My poor mum lost her best friend, and they've been best friends since mum's friend, who's younger than mum, was 16, and she's 85, I think, this year. Just turned 85. So, or just about to turn 85. So they've been friends a long time. So I don't know if there will be a live next week. I just need to see how my mum is, and we called mum's friend Aunt. She was the family, or the aunt mum and dad chose for us. And my sister Linda and I were very lucky recently. We got to go shopping with her, take her to Spotlight, and she wanted to buy all this stuff, and we knew that she was dying, but she wanted to do some knitting, and she finished the knitting that she started. I think it was before I got sick in August. We went. You think Fabio's going to find a new home when you come to visit me, do you, Megan? Yeah, so, yeah. Right, so, yeah, I don't know about next Tuesday night, whether we will have a live or not. We only found out that she'd passed away late yesterday, so it's sort of up in the air. And she's one of my favourite people in the world. So you always have to make sure that your mum's looked after, hey? Because you only get one of them. Okay, thinking. I'm going to put it over the tree. Yeah, put it over the tree. Thinking. And we've got a little piece of dimensional, so I'm just using some little offcuts of my dimensionals to stick the words on. And I'm not sticking them on straight. I'm deliberately putting them on so that they're a little bit crooked. And they also cover up bits that aren't my favourite bits on the tree. And sort of staggering them. See this bit here I didn't colour terribly well, so I might just put that of there if it's going to stick there. And the last little one, I've got half a dimensional somewhere. Oh wow, 99, that's a really good age. Yeah, well, Mum and Dad are the last of their friends that are survived. Well, they've got 2 other girlfriends, but out of the 8 of them, 8? Just have to think. Yeah, out of the 8 of them, Mum and Dad are the only couple that are still alive, and then 2 of the wives of Dad's mates are still alive. But yeah, it's very sad when all your friends are gone, like friends that you've been friends with your whole life, and they go. And like, I know, you just think, oh, I'm just going to ring them up and talk to them about that. And so for my mum, I think it makes it very hard. And Mum and Dad were the oldest of their groups, so that makes it very difficult. But they're good, and they've just come back from a lovely holiday, and I'm sure that we'll have many more years with them yet. Yeah, that's really hard, isn't it? I feel for your mum. That would have been very, very hard to be like that. All right, so this is... anyway, so I don't think that we'll have a Facebook Live next week. I'm pretty sure we won't. I think that it'll be a big day. But if things change, I will let you know. All right, so we have got our other tree. So 2 very different cards using the Frosted Forest. Oh, goodness me, it's Rogue. And using our Stampin' Right markers. So are there any new techniques that you have learnt tonight that you didn't know before? Or anything about Stampin' Right markers that you didn't know before? I've got some other techniques with them that I'll be sharing this month. And keep an eye out for... Oh, I need to super glue that together. I mustn't be the only person that pulled their take a picture all apart. And I'm not rough with it, I don't think. I just use it a lot. There we go. Let's get a stick in there. Alright, so I hope you like those cards. Thank you for watching and bearing with me until well past your bedtime and mine. Whoops. I got a rogue embellishment. Goodness me, nothing's sticking where it should tonight. Don't know where that one came from. It's going there though. There we go. So, very different cards. Hope you like them. And have a fabulous rest of the week. If you need raffle tickets for our charity event, I'm more than happy for you to message me and we can organise those. And good luck. I know that Megan is going to tackle whoever wins that handbag, because the handbag is awesome. And but I'm sure she won't really tackle them. But yeah, Marnie, I thought you were asleep. You were supposed to be in bed. All right. Okay, have a great night. Have a good rest of the week. You will see some lives from us at retreat on Saturday, maybe even one on Friday night. And I'm hoping, oh, Marnie, if you win that handbag, Megan will, she'll have you. But Megan had one of those and it fell apart because she'd used it so much. So maybe yours will last longer because they're just the best handbags ever. Anyway, all right, have a great night and bye for now. And until next time, happy creating.